Welcome, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, families that have fallen. We have gathered today to honor those who have made the supreme sacrifice by laying down their lives for others. We would like to also honor those that have left a legacy of courage, leaving in our communities as firefighters. May they always be loved and never forgotten.
Bienvenue, distingués invités, mesdames et messieurs, familles de ceux qui sont morts en service. Nous sommes réunis aujourd'hui pour honorer ceux qui ont fait le sacrifice ultime en donnant leur vie pour les autres. Nous allons aussi honorer ceux qui sont décédés laissant un héritage de courage au service de notre communauté en tant que pompiers. Qu'ils soient toujours aimés, jamais oubliés.
Welcome to our 24th annual memorial service.
Bienvenue à notre 24e service commémoratif annuel.
Would you please stand now for the playing of the national anthem by the Ottawa Fire Services Band, directed by Bandmaster Paul Casagran.
Si vous pouvez vous lever pour l'hymne national, interprété par la fanfare du service d'incendie d'Ottawa et dirigé par le chef de musique Paul Casagrande.
I'll call upon Reverend John Bridges, Ottawa Fire Department Service Chaplain, to open in prayer, please.
J'inviterai l'aumônier du service d'incendie d'Ottawa, John Bridges, à débuter avec une prière.
Chers amis, brothers and sisters, friends, firefighters. Aujourd'hui, c'est une opportunité pour celebration. We come here today to celebrate. We celebrate the legacy and the example of those who have gone before in the Ottawa Fire Services. I'm amazed every year, Dawson, we produce this booklet and that line of duty deaths over the years.
Yes.
Some amazing stories there, and I don't know, 9/10. Today, we come together and ask the divine, known by many names, understood in every language, to be with us in our celebration. Why? There is a cost to what the firefighters, the men and women, give to us. And we need, every once in a while, to stop in the midst of this hectic, crazy, nutty world and say thank you. Almighty God, bless us this day as we gather to remember the cost of safety within our community, and we ask that we will always be willing to say thank you and ask them to go one more step. Amen.
Amen.
I'll now call upon City of Ottawa Councillor David Hill.
You may be seated, s'il vous plaît, d'asseoir. Conseiller et vice-président du comité des services de protection, préparation et situation d'urgence, David Hill.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here on behalf of Mayor Mark Sutcliffe and my Chair of Emergency Preparedness Services, Chair Riley Brockington, for today's important ceremony. I'd like to begin by recognizing Wendy Stephenson, our City Manager, Ryan Perot, our General Manager of Emergency and Protective Services, many of my council colleagues, councillors, Devine, Johnson, we've got Tierney, we've got Choster, we've got Carr, we've got Luloff, we've got Clark, we've got Dudas in the back, we've got Glenn Gower there, Steve DeRoche, we've got Catherine Kitts. I understand the mayor's in Toronto. Oh, we got Ralston King too. Yeah, the mayor's in Toronto, so maybe we should go off in the back and do some business while he's not here, get some things done for the city. We've got Paul Hutt, certainly, Chief, thank you, and our union lead, Dave Andre. Thank you, Reverend, for joining us as well today. Jeff Randall, board member of the Ottawa Professional Fires Association, and family members, certainly this event is for you. Thank you all for joining us. Today we come together in respect and remembrance of the men and women who gave their lives while serving the Ottawa Fire Services. Aujourd'hui, nous nous réunissons pour honorer la mémoire de celles et ceux qui ont perdu leur vie dans le cadre de leur service et travail pour la ville d'Ottawa. We carry their memory with us, and we ensure their service and sacrifice are never forgotten by speaking their names, sharing their stories, and standing with the firefighting community. Et nous nous assurons que leur service et leur sacrifice ne sont jamais oubliés en perpétuant leur mémoire et leur histoire et en soutenant les pompiers d'aujourd'hui. When we think of firefighters, we think of bravery, of compassion, and of commitment to the community. But above all, we think of their unwavering duty to protect others, often at a very great personal risk. Mais nous pensons surtout à leur sens de devoir inébranlable, qui est de protéger les autres, souvent au péril de leur vie. To all the firefighters and to the families who support them, please know that the people of Ottawa are deeply grateful. We're grateful to the members and leaders of the Ottawa Professional Firefighters Association for their continued advocacy and for organizing today's ceremony. On behalf of your city, thank you for your sacrifice, your dedication, and for your example. Thank you, merci.
I would like to now call upon our beloved Fire Chief, Paul Hutt.
Chef du service d'incendie, Paul Hutt.
Thank you, Dawson. Firefighters, families, friends of the fallen, honorary guests. As Fire Chief of the Ottawa Fire Service, I'm honored to be here today to say a few words on behalf of our service. Today we gather to honor brave firefighters who shared their lives serving the residents of Ottawa. Our thoughts are with the families who are with us today. When you have a service whose members are expected to be ready at any moment to put their lives on the line, to go to the aid of a stranger, even when it means putting themselves in harm, I don't think you can pay people to do that job. There has to be something beyond money that makes firefighters do what they do. The thing that sets firefighters apart is when the bell sounds, they do whatever is necessary to help the person in need. No matter what we do, how well we train, how good our equipment is, or how hard we try, the time will come when we lose another firefighter from an occupational illness or protecting those in our community. This memorial serves as a powerful reminder of the sacrifices and the impact our fallen have had on lives of others. Today, we witness 50 names being added to the memorial. The honor behind their names is uncompared. The life of a firefighter is like no other, one that deserves a royal farewell. Whether you're grieving a loss of a loved one, or supporting an individual of a lost loved one, or you're paying tribute to a friend or a colleague, we're all here for the same reason. We're forced to say goodbye to somebody we cherished. Our suffering is our connection, our love is our bond. I struggle because no words can make the pain go away. But let's continue living for the ones that we're honoring today and for all the ones that have left behind before. To the firefighters here today, your presence is a living tribute to those who are no longer with us. Every time you answer the call, every time you rush into a burning building, every time you place yourself between danger and the people you protect, you're honoring their memory. Let us speak their name, let us tell their stories, let's keep up their spirits, not only today, but every day as we put our boots on, start our trucks, rescue a person, or simply take a moment to remember, because heroes may fall, but they'll never be forgotten. I want to say a special thank you to the Ottawa Community Firefighters Foundation for their continued support with this beautiful memorial. It's very special to the Ottawa Fire Service and everybody in the city of Ottawa. I'd also like to acknowledge the efforts of the Ceremony Committee, the Ottawa Professional Firefighters Association, the Rural Fire Advisory Committee, Protocol Officer, we have our Honor Guard, our band, pipes and drums, and we have our good friends with the ROFA, Bytown Fire Brigade, and Frontline Credit that made today very special. May peace be with the fallen, their families, and each and every one of you.
Thank you. So, Yao Granel, Secretary and Principal Officer of OPFFA.
Secrétaire de l'Association des pompiers professionnels d'Ottawa, Jeff Randall.
Welcome, families, friends, brothers and sisters, and honored guests. The names that are memorialized on these walls and those we will add today represent some of the bravest who have served our community. We're here to honor these fallen and to thank them and their families for paying the ultimate price. Firefighters have protected Ottawa for over 187 years. We draw strength from the traditions that have been passed down to us as we evolve to better serve our community in the future. When firefighters and their families look out the city, they don't simply see asphalt, brick, and stone. We remember the calls and the stories along all these streets and behind all these walls. We remember shared meals, laughter, and the pride of serving our community. Firefighters are seen in this community for their dedication, their bravery, their strength, and their kindness to those in need. But to fellow firefighters, we are above all family. This sense of family is what truly defines our profession. Our extended fire family does not end at the borders of this city, but extends across the country, across this continent, and around the world. This sense of belonging and shared purpose is emblemized by the Maltese Cross, and is why far away from Ottawa, in fire halls and at monuments, when we see that cross, we feel at home. On behalf of the Ottawa Professional Firefighters Association, IFF Local 162, I'm honored to be here today to address this audience, and above all, the families of the fallen. To those families, today we honor your sacrifice as we mourn your loss. We thank you for sharing your loved ones with us, and we remind you that you will always be a part of our family.
I'd like to call Fred Carcino, Rural Firefighter Advisory Committee President.
Fred Carmosino, du Comité consultatif des pompiers ruraux d'Ottawa.
Good morning, bonjour. Today we recognize and remember those who bravely and selflessly serve their community. Aujourd'hui, nous souvenons de ceux qui ont courageusement servi leur communauté. We're also here in support of the families and friends and co-workers of those being commemorated. Nous sommes également ici pour soutenir les familles, les amis, les collègues de ceux qui sont célébrés. We know your loss is profound. We share in your grief. Nous savons que votre perte est profonde. Your loved ones chose a life of service and sacrifice that has made our community safer and stronger. Vos proches ont choisi une vie de service et sacrifice. I'd like to assure you that as we continue in their efforts, we are reminded that although they may be gone from our sight, they're alive in our hearts. Je te tiens à vous assurer qu'ils vivent dans nos cœurs. On behalf of the 450 rural firefighters that serve this city as part of the Ottawa Fire Service family, we'll honor those who we've lost. Au nom des 450 pompiers ruraux, nous nous souviendrons de ceux qui nous avons perdus. Merci, thank you.
Now I'll call upon Lloyd Boston.
Il a joué 14 ans dans la Ligue nationale, premier capitaine des Sénateurs d'Ottawa et président des anciens joueurs.
As you know, he played in the National Hockey League 14 seasons, right?
That's correct.
And served as first captain of the Ottawa Senators, right?
That's right.
Ottawa resident, right? currently president of our senior Senators Alumni Association, right?
Correct.
Give a hand for her.
Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Ottawa Senators and the Ottawa Senators alumni, I too want to extend my gratitude to the service of those of you as firefighters to the City of Ottawa. We're here today to remember those firefighters who have sacrificed their lives in keeping us safe, and I too want to acknowledge the families and friends present today. I count many firefighters as friends in uniform today, and some of them have now retired, and of course they still are my friends, and I'm old enough to know that some of their kids are now on the job, which is kind of fun. Paul Casagrande said I only got 5 minutes, and when I get in front of a mic I can talk, so I gotta go quick here. So I gotta tell you a story. When I first came to Ottawa in 1992 when the Senators started, my wife and our family relocated in Stittsville, in a Monarch neighborhood. It was called Crossing Bridge, and it was close to where the Canadian Tire Centre is built now, but the Corral Centre was supposed to be built, which, by the way, in January, middle of January, in 2026, they'll be celebrating 30 years of that building, which is kind of amazing. But our kids were smaller at the time, and we lived close to the intersection of Renshaw and Delamere. Right near Elorn Cassidy School. So I know there's a counselor here from that area, knows exactly where that is. I might add that on Wednesday, my wife and I just got back from Tennessee because we wanted to welcome our 12th grandchild to this world, a son. So we got back and I was tapped to come here and speak, which I'm delighted to do. But now all our kids have grown up. So there was a vacant lot on that corner, and I decided to build an outdoor arena for my boys. And little did I know that corner lot, it was quite a big lot on the corner of Renshaw and Delamere, would be just a magnet for the kids in the community. Both boys and girls would come and skate, and it was fantastic. So one day I was out there flooding, one afternoon, I'm out there flooding, and a friend of mine, who's an unnamed firefighter, came by my house while I was flooding the rink with my garden hose, and he said, Laurie, he said, I think I could make it go a little faster, he said. I'm gonna bring a garden hose one day from the unit, and he said, maybe we'll go out and we'll get this rink up and going a little bit faster, because I was out there when we weren't traveling and on the road. It was sort of a passion for me and a labor of love really in our community. Not only did my kids use it, but our whole community used it. And so it was something I did. So I said, hey, that's a great idea. Why don't we do it? We looked at the calendar and we did it in January after one of the games. And of course, in those days, we were playing down at the Civic Center. So anyways, I just thought that was a brilliant idea. So my buddy Colin Newton and my unnamed firefighter friend came by after we played the game downtown. And we came by the house about 10:30, quarter to 11 at night. We had a little bite to eat and things like that. And then it was about 12:30, we decided we're gonna go out now and we're gonna put a good flood in this rink. So my unnamed firefighter friend went across the street because there was a fire hydrant there. And he cranks that, and I'm on the end of the hose across the street with my buddy Colin Newton, who was giving me moral support, and we were just chatting and stuff. And it was going great for about 15 minutes. We were running that water, and all of a sudden a station wagon pulled up, and on the side of it said Volunteer Fire Chief of Stittsville. And this is before amalgamation. All right, and so I'm thinking, oh boy, this might not be so good. And for those of you who are younger who don't know what a station wagon is, you can talk to me about that after, okay? So anyways, so the fire chief got out of the car, and he said they got a complaint. They got a complaint from a citizen who said someone was vandalizing a fire hydrant in the neighborhood and that we had to shut it down. And when he asked me what my name was, I said, Colin Newton. And, you know, I didn't think we were doing anything wrong because my unnamed firefighter friend, he brought the hose from the unit. He had the key to open up the hydrant, and you know we had the water going for the time that we did. And so, but the problem is that I was at the end of the hose, and I was thinking, I could envision myself on the front of the Ottawa Sun and the Citizen. This is when we read newspapers, with a headline saying, "Sens captain caught hosing the city of water to flood local rink." All right, and I want to say to Councillor Hume and some of the councillors off to the left here that you guys, I tell you guys are pretty good detectives, because when they found out where I lived, my water bill had gone through the roof for years. Okay, and guys and ladies, I've only used, it was 10 minutes of water, honestly. All right, so let's just call it even right now and keep those increases down quite a bit, all right? And mention that to my friend and Mayor Mark Sutcliffe as well, would you please? And I just want to tell you a little bit very briefly, because Paul, I'll try and respect that 5 minutes. What happened was the next year they built on our little rink in that neighborhood, in the Crossing Bridge neighborhood, they built that house. So when the people who moved in that house, who were our friends too, everybody in the neighborhood was mad at them because they built on our rink. So I made the rink kitty corner, and we couldn't use the fire hose anymore because I didn't want to cause any problems and stuff. But we had that for a few years until the association locally in Goulburn, they came to us. A lady came to me one day and she said, "Laurie, do you think you could find volunteers to, if we built something at Aylor and Cassidy School on the property, could you find volunteers to man it?" And I said, absolutely. And so we did that for many years. And so if you go in Stittsville and Aylor and Cassidy, there's a hut, a warming hut, a hut there for people to skate, and they've got water there and everything. And we've got a snow blower and all that kind of stuff in there. But it was fantastic. So in closing, I want to mention that in the 30 plus years that our retired Sens alumni have played hockey games against the local fire service in events such as Hockey for Little Hearts at Jim Durrell Arena and other events, the fire service is 0-33, okay, against the alumni. So to put a little gasoline on the fire, you young firefighters need to step up your game to see if you can win a game. All right, against us old alumni. So that's the challenge in the coming years. But I want to thank you again for having me, and thanks for all of you in the fire service for what you do in our community. Thank you very much.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Ottawa Firefighters Brass Band and the Ottawa Firefighters Pipes and Drums will play Amazing Grace.
Gary, go.
now entering the helmet presentation. Three helmets are carried. The first one is line of duty death, carried by Deputy Chief Colleen Woodley.
Le premier casque de pompier dans les mains du député-chef Colleen Woolsey représente les pompiers qui sont décédés en devoir.
The second helmet carried is Legacy of Courage. Firefighters that didn't die in the line of duty but passed on, leaving a legacy of courage. Helmet carried by District Chief, former District Chief retired, Des Dubroy.
Le retraité et ancien chef de division, Des Dubroy, porte le casque qui représente ceux qui ont servi et sont décédés au cours de la dernière année.
The third helmet represents and carried all firefighters everywhere, bush firefighters. Helmet is carried by Captain Graham Forrester.
Le casque de pompier dans les mains du capitaine Graham Forrester représente tous les pompiers.
And before Now, before Chief Hutt honors the fallen, during this exchange, John Steele, a friend of mine, is going to sing "Bring Him Home." God on high, hear my prayer in my need. You have always been there. He is young, he's afraid. Let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one, how soon they fly on and on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He is young, he is only a boy. You can take, you can give. Let him be, let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him Now Chief Hutt will be escorted to the presentation table. They come from all walks of life, united in their courage and selflessness. We honor their years of dedication and service to our community.
Ils viennent de tous les horizons, unis dans leur courage et leur altruisme. Nous honorons leurs années de dévouement et de service à notre communauté.
These are the line of duty deaths since last ceremony.
Voici les pompiers décédés en devoir depuis la dernière cérémonie.
Some gave some and some gave all.
Tous en ont donné, certains ont tout donné. Platoon Chief Michael McIntyre. in recognition of Michael McIntyre and his valuable contribution to the citizens of Ottawa in the Ottawa Fire Service. He served with courage, dedication, professionalism, and ultimate personal sacrifice. Michael joined Gloucester Fire Department in 1974, and over the years rose through the ranks to the level of platoon chief. During his career, he took courses and graduated from the Ontario Fire College. As well, he served in various roles with the Gloucester Professional Firefighters Association. Mike also had developed into a talented carpenter and was a house builder in his spare time. Also in his spare time, he managed to find time to enjoy many memorable fishing moments with his Gloucester buddies. Mike shared his home life with his lovely wife and soulmate Julie Lynn, and together they raised two wonderful children, a son Craig and a daughter Allison. Firefighter Michael George Bowman. He served with courage, dedication, professionalism, and ultimate personal sacrifice. Mike began his firefighting career in 1971 with the Nepean Fire Department. He became an Ottawa firefighter with the Municipal Amalgamation of 2001. During his career, he was known to be a well-respected team player who loved the camaraderie of the firehouse. During his youth, he played hockey at a high level and later continued his love of the sport as a hockey dad and sometimes coached with his boys Kevin and Blake. Mike will be missed by his best friend and loving wife Mary, his son Blake, and his cherished grandchildren Ava and Carter. Sadly, he was predeceased by his son Kevin. Lieutenant Claude Joe Charlebois. He served with courage, dedication, professionalism, and ultimate personal sacrifice. Claude graduated from the Canterbury High School, where he competed in high diving, swimming, and badminton. He was also a lifeguard and taught swimming. He later studied photography at Algonquin College, which sometimes became useful at fires. At a young age, he followed fire trucks on his trike, which seemed to be an indicator of where life would take him. As a firefighter, he trained in high-angle rescue, and he loved to participate in the health sanitary parades. Other interests included minor hockey, woodworking, gardening, and scuba diving. Claude will be missed by his wife and best friend, Dorothy Church, his children, Gaverny and Kurt, an OFS member himself, and his cherished grandsons, Owen and Liam. Platoon Chief Dennis Colby. He served with courage, dedication, professionalism, and ultimate personal sacrifice. Dennis attained his high school education at Ottawa Tech, where he also played on the football team. At age 19, he joined the Ottawa Fire, where he rose through the ranks, retiring 41 years later as a well-respected platoon chief. During his career, he participated in many fire-related activities, such as the OFS band, OFS hockey team, and the OFS color party. Dennis was an avid motorcyclist with the Red Knights and the Ottawa Hawk chapter. He was also passionate about skiing and snowshoeing. Dennis will be missed by his loving wife Janet of 45 years and his children Scott, Matthew, Shannon, who are both OFS members. He will also be dearly missed by his cherished grandson William. Firefighter Dennis John Mull. Dennis was born and grew up in Ottawa's West End, where he became a carpenter by trade. He married Christine in 1972, and shortly thereafter they moved to Pakenham. He became a volunteer firefighter in 1978, followed by a move to Canada Fire in 1981. With the Municipal Amalgamation of 2001, Dennis became an Ottawa firefighter, where he remained until his retirement in 2008. He then opened a business with his son Matthew called Sports Systems Canada. Then his favorite hobby was playing around with engines and automobiles. He restored a 1940 Pontiac and participated in many classic car shows all over Eastern Ontario. He was a loving husband of Christine for 52 years and the proud father of Matthew and Nathan. Dennis was also the cherished papa of Maxwell and Abigail.
Ladies, the Ottawa Firefighters Brass Band will play Heroes. Here's to the Heroes.
Legacy of Courage, Ron Stone, July 4th, 2024. James Allen, August 4th, 2024. Jim Johnston, August 17th, 2024. John Allen Conroy, December 1st, 2024. Lyle Fraser, December 27th, 2024. Donald Meyer, January 17th, 2025. Jim Thompson, February 4th, 2025. Jerry Moore, February 15th, 2025. Robert Tremblay, 13 mars 2025. Kenneth Ashley, April 10th, 2025. Richard Maisonneuve, 28 avril 2025. John Jameson, June 3rd, 2025.
Bugler Sid Arnold, OFS Band. Two flags lowered to half-mast.
Almighty God, we thank you for the gift of this day, that it has challenged us to remember with thanksgiving those who serve. Bless us in all that we do, and send us forth renewed by their example and their willingness to serve. Amen.
Thank you. This concludes the 24th Annual Firefighters Memorial Service. Please feel free to have refreshments and come up and have a close look at your monument. Please visit the memorial site. You are welcome.
Ceci conclut le 24e service commémoratif annuel des pompiers d'Ottawa. N'hésitez pas à prendre des rafraîchissements et venez voir votre monument de près et visiter la table commémorative.
Platoon Chief Michael McIntyre. Line of duty death due to work-related cancer. Date of birth August 17th, 1946. Date of death November 4th, 1999. Fire service from 1974 to 1999. Michael joined Gloucester Fire in 1974 and over the years rose through the ranks to the level of platoon chief. During his career, he took courses and graduated from the Ontario Fire College. As well, he served in various roles with the Gloucester Professional Firefighters Association. Mike also had developed into a talented carpenter and was a house builder in his spare time. Also in his spare time, he managed to find time to enjoy many memorable fishing moments with his Gloucester buddies. Mike shared his home life with his lovely wife and soulmate, Julie Lynn, and together they raised two wonderful children, a son, Craig, and a daughter, Allison.
Firefighter Michael George Pope. Line of duty death due to work-related pancreatic cancer. Date of birth April 20th, 1949. Date of death June 11th, 2012. Fire service 1971 to 2006. Mike began his firefighter career in 1971 with Nepean Fire. He became an Ottawa firefighter with the Municipal Amalgamation of 2001. During his career, he was known to be a well-respected team player who loved the camaraderie of the firehouse. During his youth, he played hockey at a high level and later continued his love of the sport as a hockey dad and sometimes coach with his boys, Kevin and Blake. Mike will be missed by his best friend and loving wife, Mary, his son, Blake, and his cherished grandchildren, Ava and Carter. Sadly, he was predeceased by his son, Kevin.
Lieutenant Claude Charlebois. Line of duty death due to work-related pancreatic cancer. Date of birth December 14th, 1957. Date of death September 6th, 2024. Fire service from 1981 to 2015. Claude graduated from Canterbury High, where he competed in high diving, swimming, and badminton. He also was a lifeguard and taught swimming. He later studied photography at Algonquin College, which sometimes became useful at fire scenes. At a young age, he followed fire trucks on his tricycle, which seemed to be an indicator of where life would take him. As a firefighter, he trained in high-angle rescue, and he loved to participate in the Help Santa toy parades. Other interests included minor hockey, woodworking, gardening, and scuba diving. Claude will be sadly missed by his wife and best friend, Dorothy Church, his children, Giverny and Kirk, an OFS member, and his cherished grandsons, Owen and Liam.
Platoon Chief Dennis M. Goby. Line of duty death due to work-related pancreatic cancer. Date of birth June 14, 1951. Date of death October 20, 2024. Fire service 1970 to 2011. Dennis attained high school education at Ottawa Tech, where he also played on the football team. At age 19, he joined the Ottawa Fire, and he rose through the ranks. 41 years later, became a well-respected platoon chief. During his career, he participated in many fire-related activities, such as the OFS Band, the OFS Hockey Team, and the OSF Color Party. Dennis was an avid motorcyclist with the Red Knights and the Ottawa Hog Chapter. He was also passionate about skiing and snowshoeing. Dennis will be missed by his loving wife, Janet, of 45 years, and his children, Scott, Matthew, an OFS member, and Shannon, an OFS member. He will also be dearly missed by his cherished grandson, William.
Firefighter Dennis John Mould. Line of duty death due to occupational cancer. Date of birth December 3rd, 1949. Date of death November 14th, 2024. Fire service 1978 to 2008. Dennis was born and grew up in Ottawa's West End, where he became a carpenter by trade. He married Christine in 1972, and shortly thereafter they moved to Pakenham. He became a volunteer firefighter in 1978, followed by a move to Canada Fire in 1981. With the Municipal Amalgamation of 2001, Dennis became an Ottawa firefighter, where he remained until his retirement in 2008. He then opened a business with his son Matthew called Sports Systems Canada. Dennis's favorite hobby was playing around with engines and automobiles. He restored a 1940 Pontiac and participated in many classic car shows all over Eastern Ontario. He was a loving husband of Christine for 52 years and the proud father of Matthew and Nathan. Dennis was also the cherished papa of Maxwell and Abigail. Firefighter Ronald Stone. Date of birth, March 3rd, 1939. Date of death, July 4th, 2024. Fire service, 1967 to 1999. Ron was born in Ottawa, and at a very early age, he helped his Uncle Pat deliver milk with a horse-drawn cart. As an adult, he became a skilled carpenter after graduating from a trade school. He joined the Nepean Fire in 1967, where he established himself as an excellent firefighter and pump operator during his 32-year career. Ron built a cottage on Little Crosby Lake, which became a much treasured haven for the family over the years. Ron was predeceased by his much beloved wife Marjorie and will be greatly missed by his son Jeff and daughter Jennifer. He was also a cherished papa to Morgan. Captain James Allen. Date of birth, April 27th, 1940. Date of death, August 4th, 2024. Fire service, 1960 to 1998. Jimmy grew up in the Pretoria neighborhood as one of 11 children in the 1940s. It was a rough and ready area at the time, but he persevered to achieve perfect attendance at school and to keep a positive outlook. He worked at several jobs after leaving school, but in 1960 he landed his dream job as a proud and empathetic Ottawa firefighter. After a successful 39-year career, he retired and decided to tell his story. He wrote and published a book entitled Extreme Heat, This Firefighter's Life. Jimmy was predeceased by his loving wife Sharon, a well-known local craftswoman. He was a devoted father to Gary, Mark, and Colleen, and a cherished grandfather to Colin, James, Sean, and Samantha. He had a huge personality and was loved by many. Lieutenant James Johnson. Date of birth, October 26, 1954. Date of death, August 17, 2024. Fire service, 1981 to 2010. Jim was born in Ottawa and grew up in the Bayshore area. He enjoyed playing hockey and football in his youth. After high school, he spent a year backpacking around various countries in Europe. He joined Ottawa Fire in 1981 and was respected for his ability as a firefighter. In his spare time, he did a little carpentry and participated in hobbies such as photography, oil painting, kayaking, and cooking. Jim will be missed by his loving sons, Shane and Cody, as well as his cherished granddaughter, Sophia. They were all never far from his thoughts. Firefighter John Allen Conroy. Date of birth, August 21, 1951. Date of death, December 1, 2024. Fire service, 1972 to 2003. John was nicknamed Rocky and joined Gloucester Fire in 1972. He became an Ottawa firefighter with the Municipal Amalgamation of 2001. He was an avid trucker, and in his off-duty time he drove his own dump truck as well as tractor trailers and other heavy equipment for several different companies. He also enjoyed camping and going to car shows. He was a beloved husband of Thelma and cherished father of Scott and Brent. He will be greatly missed by his grandchildren Colton, Everly, and Daxton, and all who knew him.
Platoon Chief Lyle Fraser. Date of birth, August 2nd, 1951. Date of death, December 27, 2024. Fire service, 1974 to 2011. Lyle was very proud of his 37-year career at Ottawa Fire, joining in late 1974 and rose through the ranks, ultimately retiring as a well-respected platoon chief. He will be deeply missed by his many OFS brothers and sisters. Lyle loved to ride his Harley bike whenever he could, whether it was short hops or long road trips. He also had a passion for music and Jeopardy. Lyle was a devoted husband to Darlene, a cherished stepfather to Megan, and a beloved grandfather to Reese and Louisa.
Captain Don Muir. Date of birth, June 19th, 1935. Date of death, January 17th, 2025. Fire service from 1956 to 1993. Don began his firefighter career in 1956 at the age of 21. He enjoyed a rewarding career of 37 years serving the citizens of Ottawa. He also enjoyed the camaraderie of the firehouse and the teamwork on the job. In retirement, Don loved wintering in Florida with his wife Mary and spending time with his beautiful grandchildren. Don was a devoted husband who was predeceased by Mary, his loving wife of 56 years. He is survived by his 3 daughters, Patty, Susan, Catherine, and his cherished grandchildren, Nikos, Graydon, Georgie, and Piper, as well as his great-grandson, Lachlan.
Captain Jim Thompson. Date of birth, September 4th, 1924. Date of death, February 4th, 2025. Fire service, 1950 to 1984. Jim grew up in Rupert, Quebec, one of 11 children. In 1942, at the tender age of 18, he served in the Navy, escorting supply ships across the Atlantic. After the war, he worked at various jobs and decided to join Ottawa Fire in 1950. He had good memories of his fire career, particularly driving the pumper truck, trying out new safety equipment, and working alongside confident and reliable firefighters. Jim was predeceased in 2010 after 66 years of marriage by his loving wife, Ethel Evelyn. He was a beloved father of Mel, Charlene, Karen, and Gail. He was also a cherished grandfather and great-grandfather. Fire Prevention Officer Gerald Albert Moore. Date of birth, January 15th, 1956. Date of death, February 15th, 2025. Fire service, 1979 to 2013. Jerry was born and raised in the community of Richmond. He became a firefighter in 1979 with Nepean Fire and later was promoted to the rank of Fire Prevention Officer. He became a member of Ottawa Fire as a result of the municipal amalgamation of 2001. Jerry was an active member of the Richmond Lions Club, where he was able to further contribute to his community. He also was a passionate curler and served on the board of directors for Richmond's Curling Club. Jerry will be forever missed and loved by his wife Linda and his children Alyssa and Brian. His grandsons Calvin, Lennox, and Lando were his pride and joy.
Captain Robert Trombley. Date of birth, February 29th, 1940. Date of death, March 13th, 2025. Fire service from 1960 to 2000. Bob was born and raised in Ottawa's Lower Town. He joined Ottawa Fire in 1960 when he was 19 years of age. He loved being a firefighter and was always interested in physical fitness and bodybuilding. He was a member of a group interested in getting fitness equipment into fire stations. In the mid-1980s, the group succeeded in helping to secure Ontario funding, and each Ottawa fire station was equipped with a fitness room. He was a people person with a good sense of humor and was well liked. Bob was the beloved husband and best friend of Carol Sharon, his wife of 50 years. Sadly, he was predeceased by his son, Stephen.
Firefighter Kenneth Ashley. Date of birth, February 17th, 1938. Date of death, April 10th, 2025. Fire service, 1957 to 1969. Ken's professional journey began as a firefighter, following in his father's footsteps. After 12 years of dedicated service at Ottawa Fire, he left that role to become a co-owner and manager of Webb's Motel. When not working, he enjoyed relaxing at the family cottage in summer and Florida in the winter. Ken was a devoted husband of Barbara, his loving wife of 65 years. He was also the proud father of Jeffrey, Karen, and Kimberly, and a generous and loving grandpa and great-grandpa. Public Education Officer Richard Maisonneuve. Date of birth August 13th, 1942. Date of death April 28th, 2025. Fire service 1975 to 1995. Rick enjoyed his career in fire service. He also showed up for work with a smile and considerate attitude. He had a good sense of humor and liked the camaraderie of the firehouse. No one has ever heard Rick say anything negative about others. He really enjoyed cooking. He was also an athletic man who loved golf, hockey, baseball, and hiking. Travel was also one of his favorite activities, especially in his retirement years. Rick was a beloved partner and best friend of Michelle Dunning. He was a devoted father of Leah and Charles, as well as stepfather to James and Christine. He was also a much cherished grandfather and great-grandfather.
Captain John Jameson. Date of birth January 24, 1948. Date of death June 3, 2025. Fire service 1971 to 2002. John became a firefighter with Ottawa Fire in 1971, enjoyed a 31-year career, retiring in 2002 at the rank of captain. In addition to his firefighting duties, he enjoyed participating in the Sunday morning hockey games with the Ottawa Fire Hockey League, also known for his eccentric inventions and his enjoyment of music, especially playing the fiddle and harmonica. Also served with the Ottawa Fire Services Band. John and his wife liked to host summer barbecues at their Chelsea home in Gatineau Hills. In retirement, they would spend their winters in Mexico and Florida. John was predeceased by his loving wife, Ninon.